Hi, I'm Jen, and welcome to Christian Fire Poppy. Today is April 1st, and it is 1 week, 7 days before the April 8th eclipse. And it's also April Fools. So I want to just say April Fools about what I said in the last video. I learned today from a commenter from Sister Christensen, and see, this is why I need you guys in your comments and your help, because she pointed out that there were actually two patterns of seven messages in September. So it turns out there actually was a full set of seven. And I figured this out 7 days before. So April Fool's on me for not figuring that out and noticing it until today. President Nelson did do it. I was so surprised when I thought that he didn't continue the seven messages of seven. So President Nelson's pattern of repeating the keyword 7 times for 7 months in a row on social media, it actually did fully happen. And I will show you. So it's actually pretty awesome that this pattern of seven began on September 21st, 2023. This was the 200th anniversary of the angel Moroni's first visit to Joseph Smith. And the first repeated seven phrase was Book of Mormon. So that's pretty amazing. And he starts out by talking about, so his post on Facebook, you can go to his Facebook page. It's called Russell M. Nelson. And on September 21st, he said, I have reflected many times on the miracle of the coming forth of the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ. Today, we commemorate the 200th anniversary of the angel Moroni's first visit to the prophet Joseph Smith. And he goes on to use the Book of Mormon 7 times. I encourage you guys to go back and review all seven of his messages where he highlights the main theme word 7 times. And it's actually really cool that the next time he does this pattern is exactly 7 days later on September 28th. And that's when he repeats the word conference. And he is talking all about General Conference Weekend. So we have this revision from my last video. We have number one here, 7 days later, pattern of seven using the word conference on September 28th. And then in October, he says think celestial 7 times. So each month for 7 months. In November, he uses the word prayers 7 times. Next, in December, he uses all different names of Christ 7 times. You can see here. In January, he uses the word marvel 7 times. I think it's absolutely going to be a marvelous year of 2024. That is my word of the year, inspired by President Nelson. And finally, last but not least, in fact, the perfect ending to our sevens in February on Valentine's Day is the word love. So, you know what? This was actually very poetic and beautiful, and I felt like I owed it to President Nelson to get it right. He did do a full set of sevens. I absolutely love our prophet, and I was so excited when I learned, it actually wasn't that long ago that I learned that he is my third cousin. And then I had actually accidentally named my first two girls after the two sisters that link us together. So if you go back in my family history, there are two sisters out of a really big family. I want to say about 12 kids, but only two of the sisters left England and traveled all the way to the United States to join the church and to be with Joseph Smith and the saints at the time here in the United States. And those two sisters are the names that I named my two children without knowing it. So not only was it exciting to find out my link to the prophet, but then to see that unknowingly I had named them after those two sisters. And my older two girls are very close in age and very close in the same way that I'm sure those sisters were, who sacrificed everything and came here to the United States to learn all about the gospel of Jesus Christ after reading the Book of Mormon and gaining a testimony of themselves that these were the words of Jesus Christ. So, being 7 days before the eclipse, just a point of interest, I thought this was just an interesting note for the day. It's 7 days before the October 14th, 2023 eclipse, we had the October 7th Israel attack. So on October 7th, that was a big day. Israel was attacked, and then 7 days later, there was an eclipse. So here we are 7 days before the April 8th eclipse. And I noticed in the news there were some big things happening with Israel. So Israel has bombed the Iran embassy, and this is marking major escalation in the war. So you can see this news article in Reuters here. It says Iran says Israel bombs its embassy in Syria, kills commanders. This is on April 1st that this happened. So suspected Israeli warplanes bombed Iran's embassy in Syria on Monday in a strike that Iran said killed 7 of its military advisors. Notice that's 7 again, including 3 senior commanders that marked a major escalation in Israel's war with its regional adversaries. So 7 of its military advisors were killed in this, and they immediately marked this as a major escalation in Israel's war. And it's always just important to me to keep an eye on Israel because Israel has such an important part to play in prophecy. So, thank you for listening to my revisions. I often say that the connections that I make, there are probably chock full of erroneous connections, but that's okay because even erroneous connections help us to learn new things, to learn symbolism, learn meaning behind numbers, to make connections so that we can remember the things that we learn. And this is how my mind and heart focuses on my Savior Jesus Christ, and it helps me to keep these things in my mind and connect them to my daily life and what is happening in the world. And so thanks for joining me today. And don't forget to finish reading the Book of Mormon by April 8th, 2024, or read the Book of Mormon every day up to April 8th, 2024. We have amazing Come Follow Me scriptures that you can be reading and consistently doing that. So thank you. Let's bloom despite the doom and gloom like a true fire poppy. A Zion field of many fire poppies will reduce erosion after world chaos fires. Join us for more fiery passion and preparedness as we fly into the second coming of Jesus Christ. And just a quick extra note, I forgot to mention this, that in my previous video, I mentioned that his Easter message used the word joy 9 times. And I still do think that is significant. I just think it's separate in a way from the 7s. So I feel like he did the 7s 7 times. And knowing that if you had picked up on that and you were following that pattern, you would be looking for the same pattern. So I still think it's significant that then he used the word joy 9 times. But it's up to you to decide. But either way, I hope you guys have a great week.